If your shirt is too tight around the belly and too loose around your arms, you're probably dealing with what we call skinny fat. And to fix this, you want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, which is what we call a body recomposition. Now, there's a lot of misinformation around about how to actually do a body recomposition. So in this video, I'm going to dispel some of these myths for you and give you an exact step-by-step strategy that you can follow in order to do it for yourself. Most people think that a body recomposition means that you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time and do that forever, but that's not true. A body recomposition consists of 3 phases: a maintenance phase, a cut phase, and a lean bulk phase. If you're a complete beginner and you haven't lifted weights before, you want to start with phase 1. But if you already have 6 to 12 months of training experience, you could already also skip straight to phase 2 and start from there. Phase 1, the maintenance phase. This is where you can really build the most amount of muscle and lose fat at the same time, but again, only if you're a beginner. You're going to need 4 things. The first one is to eat your maintenance calories. If you're not sure how much you should be eating or what that number exactly is, you can go to the description and use my AI fitness coach that I made, who's going to calculate everything for you and lay out the plan for you for free. This is going to be the sweet spot where you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Number 2 is you want to eat 2 grams per kilogram of body weight in protein. And protein is not only going to help you stay more full, it's also going to help your body rebuild your lean tissue and build muscle. Your muscles don't grow while training, they grow while recovering. First, you have to damage them in the gym and then give your body the right nutrients and enough sleep in order for your lean tissue to rebuild and even grow a little bit bigger and stronger every single time. Number 3, still be active. Aim for anywhere between 8 to 12,000 steps a day, let's say 10,000, which would equate to about an hour and a half of walking every day. If you have meetings that you can take without a camera, you can pace around. If you have phone calls, you can pace around, or simply doing the daily chores and tasks you need to do, walking instead of taking the car, for example, or maybe even stopping 1 metro stop before your actual destination and walk the remainder of the last 10 to 15 minutes. And 4, progressive overload. Don't worry, it says progressive, but it doesn't have to do anything with people with blue hair and signs chasing after you, but it simply means to do a little bit more weight or more reps or improve your technique every time you lift in the gym. And you don't need to be working out 6 times per week. 3 to 4 times is enough. If you do 3 times, you can do full body workouts. If you do 4 times, you could even do an upper-lower split depending on where your priorities lie. If building muscle is a bit more important than losing fat, then I would do an upper-lower. If both are fine or losing fat is a bit more important, I would stick to a full body split. But again, the AI coach I made will also help you figure this out. Finally, 7 to 8 hours of sleep are a prerequisite every single day. If you're not sleeping, you're not getting the most out of the things you're doing, so you're pretty much wasting a lot of your hard work. Sleep is a non-negotiable. That should be fixed first before we even talk about all the other things of training, diet, and active recovery. Now, a bonus thing you can do in this phase is to still do 1 to 2 sessions of zone 2 cardio every week. Some people like Mike Israel will tell you not to do more cardio because it won't help you get leaner, but that doesn't make sense, and you'll actually see and find him contradicting himself in other things he says. Doing cardio is going to help you stay lean while building muscle. And some people will also tell you to stay a year in this phase, but that's way too much for a maintenance phase because your body's going to adapt very quickly. 3 to 6 months maximum in this phase, depending on your progress. If it's slowing down, it's time to move on to phase 2. This phase is the calorie deficit, and you want to start with a 250 calorie deficit only. If you go much bigger than that, you risk losing muscle. If you go less than that, you're not going to see any progress. But it's always better to start higher in calories, but this is why we're also starting in maintenance. So if your maintenance calories are 2,000, now you want to start at 1,750. You might lose some weight and look a bit smaller instantly, but don't let that fool you. That is just water weight. As soon as you start eating more again, that weight's gonna come back. And especially when it comes to carbs, for every gram of carbs you eat, your body holds 3 to 4 grams of water. So don't let the daily fluctuations of weight get the better of you and think that it's messing up your progress. Now, the principles basically stay the same. You still want to have 2 grams per kilogram of body weight in protein, but now I'd say it becomes even more important since you're going to be in a deficit and you want to maximize the chances that you're going to cling on to most or all of the muscle you have built so far. You still want to sleep 7 to 8 hours because that's just going to improve your mood and really make it easier for you to stick to the workouts and the diet. It's going to regulate your appetite, do your cardio, and still apply progressive overload in the gym because you still want to get stronger every week. Since your weight is going to fluctuate a lot daily, I would recommend you to weigh yourself also daily and take the average of the 7 days so that you have a very accurate representation of how your weight is changing on a week-to-week basis. And once a week, I would also recommend you take measurements of your waist around your belly button and any other ones that you might care about. By keeping your measurements and your weight in check every week, you know exactly whether you're getting too fat or you're losing too much weight too quickly. As soon as you don't see any results in 2 weeks, it's time to reduce your calories by another 100 and repeat the same cycle over and over again. Honestly, you might only need 12 weeks of this cutting phase to get rid of all of the last bit of the excess fat you have around your belly. But if after 12 weeks you're still feeling a little bit fluffy here, you can keep going for a little while. Once most of your belly fat is gone and you look in the mirror and you're like, I like what I see, now I just need to get a little bigger, it's time for the lean bulk. Most people use bulking as an excuse to just eat whatever they want. I might have done this myself in the past where I would just eat burgers all the time and fries and Cokes because I need the calories, I'm bulking, bro. But that is a prime recipe to get fat, and it's going to erase all of the hard work you've put in phases 1 and 2, and that's not what we want. This is why it's important to start with a small surplus of 250 calories. Just like we did with the cut, where we went down 250 calories, now we want to go up 250 calories. So if your maintenance was 2000, go to 2250. You can always increase your calories if you're not gaining weight, but if you gain too much weight, then you're going to end up gaining fat. And I don't think that that's the goal here. Then when it comes to the principles, same thing. Eat enough protein, sleep enough. Still do your cardio, which is highly underrated during bulks. Yes, you don't need cardio to build muscle, but it's going to be the difference between you putting on more fat or putting on very little or no fat in your bulk. So still 1 to 2 sessions of zone 2 cardio, or let's say 150 minutes per week. I used to be 91 kilos at some point. I weigh about 80 now. And yes, I looked bigger, but I feel like shit. And my stomach was also bulging out all the time. When it comes to measuring your progress, you still want to do the daily weigh-ins and take your measurements every week. This is where you really want to monitor your waist measurement. If you see it go up, that will give you a hint and make you think about whether what you did that week was actually maybe a bit too much. And that way you can keep your belly fat in check and make sure that you don't get fat during your bulk. Training-wise, 3 times full body can work. 4 times upper lower can help you make a little bit more gains as well. And when it comes to the duration of this phase, indefinite. I see way too many people online treating bulking like a bear going in hibernation in winter and saying that you need to eat everything inside and get as big as possible. But that is really just gonna cause you more frustration and make you feel like shit. You shouldn't be getting fat when building muscle. You can build muscle without getting fat. And you can do that by following these principles I'm laying out for you here and by tracking and measuring your waist measurement. As you can imagine, nutrition plays a massive role in each of these phases. So what really helped me stay on track was to plan my meals in advance. I would cook for 3 days at a time, make a grocery list, go to the supermarket and buy exactly what I had there. I found that whenever I didn't have a list and I just entered the supermarket with no plan, I would end up buying unnecessary stuff and it would somehow also be a lot more expensive. If you go shopping with no plan, you'll come out with random stuff. As you can see, a body recomposition isn't a bulk and a cut at the same time. It is actually 3 different phases which are sequenced strategically and that you can use to your advantage. This is my free AI fitness coach I made for you. And if you want me to personally train you and show you exactly what to eat, how to train, and hold you accountable on a week-to-week basis, you can press the other link I've left there and book in a call with me.